Good morning, or depending when you're watching this, good afternoon, good evening, or good night. My name's Ross, and as always told, I had a voice radio. So today, I'm continuing my series where we take a Pokemon and we look at every card that it's ever had revealed, ever had released. And we look to answer the question, was this Pokemon actually any good? Today, we're taking a Pokemon that hasn't been around for all that long. Came around in X and Y. But oh my goodness, ladies and gentlemen, has it made an impact? It's Trevenant. And I tell you what, Trevenant hit the ground running. The first ever Trevenant card we had released was in the X and Y expansion in February 2014 and was ridiculously good. It's still legal in Expanded. It's still crushing in Expanded. It's got the ability Forest Curse, where as long as it's in the active, your opponent cannot play any item cards. But you can. So you could play something like a Bursting Balloon, and they couldn't play something like a Startling Megaphone to get rid of it. And we had Wally, which allows you to evolve up straight away. And after a while, we got the Ascension Phantom. That came a few sets later, but that allowed you to just evolve up for one energy. And of course, we had Dimension Valley later on in Phantom Forces, which meant that Ascension Phantom didn't even need to use an energy to evolve. It was a little bit silly. It was crazy good. It was the World Championship winning deck in Seniors in 2014. It ruled the format for ages. It's still one of the best decks in the expanded format. It is hands down one of the best cards we've had released in the last few years as a debut card. If you're a Trevenant fan, you really could not have asked for very much more. Unfortunately, the second Trevenant card we ever had released was the worst Trevenant card ever. It came around in August 2014, it was in the Furious Fists free pack blisters, and it was just rubbish. 20 damage for 1 energy and confusion, 90 damage for free energy, flip a coin if tails, you do 20 to yourself. There's nothing good about this Trevenant, ladies and gentlemen. The good news is, that was the first and last unplayable Trevenant we ever had. Because then we got Trevenant EX in Primal Clash in February 2015. We also got this handsome full art version. And this was a really nice Pokemon. 1 grass energy, 20 damage, stops them retreating. But what was really good was for free colourless energy, 50 damage, 20 more for each grass energy attached to this Pokemon. So what people would do is they would play a deck revolving around Vileplume, ironically to block items, which is kind of Trevenant's thing, and Rainbow Energy, and then you would just use different types of Pokemon. So you could be hitting for weakness against any type of Pokemon. And Trevenant, with its colourless attack cost, nice use of Dark Forest, and high HP, was the grass Pokemon of choice in these particular decks. Although, I must confess, ladies and gentlemen, this was never a huge powerhouse deck. This didn't rule the format like the original Trevenant did. But it was still pretty good. It still saw a bunch of play. It still won a bunch of tournaments, albeit slightly smaller. It was still pretty good. And then in February 2016, 1 year later, we got the Breakpoint Trevenant, which was also released as a promo for the pre-releases. So you could actually get this Trevenant with alternate art and the Breakpoint logo printed on it, which was nice. And this one had a really nice ability, Nervous Seed. As long as he's in the active, the attacks of your opponent's basic Pokemon cost 1 colourless energy more. And this video would be way too long if I went into it in too much detail, but take my word for it that at the time, an awful lot of decks were based around basic Pokemon. And what we would see is people would still be playing primarily, it would be the X and Y Trevenant. That was the good one. But then people would put one of these in just to try and mess up a lot of these basic decks. And the great news was that you even had a usable attack. Now, it wasn't anything particularly amazing or game-breaking, but 70 damage, 10 more for each energy attached to their active Pokemon was pretty good. Play it with something like Crushing Hammer to get rid of their energy, and it was very nice. Although there was one poor chap who actually made top cut at UK Nationals, but filled in his deck list wrong, got all of his X and Y Trevenant taken out of his deck, and had to play his top 8 match at UK Nationals, and this was the only Trevenant he had in his deck. It didn't go well. But it makes a fun story after the fact. But ladies and gentlemen, the real height of Trevenant came in Breakpoint, the same set, but it wasn't the regular Trevenant. It was Trevenant Break. Trevenant Break was basically the missing piece to turn the Trevenant from X and Y from a good Pokemon into an astoundingly great Pokemon. Now, as it was a break Pokemon, which is just, you pop it on top, you keep all of the attacks, abilities, retreat cost, weakness, etc., but you gain extra HP in either an attack or an ability. You gain a bit of HP here, but really you gain the attack Silent Fear. 1 Psychic, 1 colourless energy, place 3 damage counters on each of your opponent's Pokemon. Sounds pretty good. But remember that Dimension Valley card I talked about slightly earlier? That reduced the attack cost of all of your Psychic Pokemon by 1 colourless? Yeah. 1 Psychic energy, 3 damage counters on each of your opponent's Pokemon, and you would evolve, generally, you would evolve the X and Y Trevenant, meaning that your opponent was not able to play any item cards. So they're sitting there unable to play any item cards, and they're taking 3 damage counters per Pokemon per turn, and you need a single energy as a Trevenant player to get this working. Ladies and gentlemen, believe me when I say this was a ridiculously good deck. This is how Trevenant ruled the format. It was stupid good, crazy good, just plain dumb. However you want to put it, that's how good it was. It was great. And the most recent Trevenant we had was May of this year, 2017. I say this year, I'm assuming you're watching it in 2017. If you're watching it later, maybe it's not 2017. Although, if more Trevenants have been released since, you can't blame me, I can't see the future. It was a Grass-type Trevenant, the only non-EX Grass Trevenant we've ever had, and it was pretty good. Essentially here, the selling point is the attack for a double colourless energy, and we have double colourless energy, that allows you to do 30 damage for each trainer card in your opponent's hand. And trainer card here means item, tool, stadium, supporter, all of them count as trainer cards. This was a very, very nice attack. And this was supposed to be good, because at the time we had Forest of Giant Plants that allowed you to evolve any of your grass Pokemon whenever you felt like it. And we had Vileplume, and stop me if you've heard this one before, that stopped players playing item cards. So you slow them down, you make them unable to play items, then you take advantage of all the trainer cards in their hand, doing good damage for Poltergeist. You can do it for 1 energy attachment, that being a double colourless energy. You can evolve Vileplume and Trevenant up whenever you feel like it. This seemed destined to be a great deck. And it just never was. It really didn't see very much play. And the only explanation I can give you, and I'm sorry that this isn't a great explanation, we just had better decks. There were better decks at the time that did things better. And I feel a bit sorry for Trevenant, except I really don't feel that sorry for Trevenant. If we take every Pokemon and we look at every card they've ever had released, Trevenant has got to be up there in average playability. He's not had many cards, but when you combine the X and Y one, which is amazing, the Break, which is amazing, the Breakpoint, which is playable, the EX, which is playable, and then just take away that garbage promo, and all of a sudden we're looking at a Pokemon which is just plain great in the Pokemon trading card game. Was Trevenant actually any good? Oh my goodness, yes. But I want to know what you think. So let me know in the comment section. Go nuts, be nice. Make sure you like this video, subscribe to this channel, follow me on Twitter at the Wassy, and Twitch for some live action at twitch.tv/PTCGRadio. If you want to support the channel, get some bonus podcasts, and you should. Seriously, the bonus podcasts are great. And if you ever want a question answered and you want to guarantee I give you an answer, go and join Patreon. Ask it there. It will be answered on a podcast. You have my word. Patreon.com/PTCGRadio. But by far the most important thing, as always, look after yourselves until next time. Thank you very much for watching. My name's Ross, and you've been watching PTCG Radio.